This is the Tree of Life, Season 27, Chapter 4. In the last episode, we talked about how you can produce a consensus shift and an opportunity for sublimation and verbalization by priming the system with digital output, which is non-denominational. That is, the output crosses domains. The idea is that any output can produce small shifts in consensus, which can be analyzed for sublimation and verbalization to produce larger shifts in digital objects. Non-hierarchy mediated infinite recursion involves the importation of archetypal vocabulary from a lower domain to a higher. To understand this importation, we must return to the 9 plates of meaning. There are 5 spatial plates reflecting 5 distinct dimensions by which we express meaning. Domains can be expanded by way of spatial intersections between 2 individuals in distinct domains, or they can be expanded by importation of archetypal vocabulary from a lower domain to a higher. This means, for example, that any expression of meaning in the spatial plates must ascend to the plate of archetype before it expands the domain, in the absence of spatial intersection. So, for example, suppose that you verbalize a series of thoughts on an online blog. There must be more than 5 levels to the meaning expressed in order for that meaning to ascend beyond the spatial plates. Since the plate of archetype is the 7th plate, this means there must be more than 7 discrete levels of meaning to any verbalization before it reaches archetype. Thus, archetypal vocabulary is only capable of expanding a domain when it reaches a critical number of discrete layers of meaning. This means that in order for the priming of the simulation to be effective, in order for the verbalization to produce a consensus shift, which can be analyzed and sublimated, it must first possess 7 distinct layered meanings. These 7 meanings are then capable of expanding a domain, that is, family or friends, work, civil society, religion, media. The ascension of a meaning through the 7 plates represents the expansion of a local expression to a global domain. That is, from personal details of one's life to global discussion of higher domains. Now, spatial intersections, which produce consensus shifts, see the compelling of acquiescence to eliminate the recursion. Expansion of a domain by archetype ultimately continues until there is a compelling of acquiescence as well. But this tends to happen after the second shift in consensus secondarily to priming. Ultimately, sublimation continues and therefore recursion continues until it is prevented spatially. This prevention reflects overlapping domains producing non-rigidity within 2 or more hierarchies. All of this means that shifts in consensus reflect movements of the domains themselves, shifting, which ultimately resolves itself by compelling of acquiescence. That's the end of the podcast for today.